Hello everyone, Sunton2 and welcome to another history of mods, this time on Equivalent Exchange. We're looking at certain versions, made obviously by Pahimar for the most part. I don't have many other sources I could come across, I think, when it comes to any from earlier. I may have to check certain other sources like these sort of discords and that cover like beta and early release stuff, just in case. Obviously the recent version of the site you can't get access to E anymore, but if you go to the archives you obviously can find these, which I've got most stuff here related to it. So obviously I've got a bunch of these right here, which I got obviously ages ago before the site eventually was changed, but yeah, so I'll be covering from 125 to 1710, and if I happen to find any other stuff I'll try and cover it in another video and see what happens. So in the version that I've come across here, being one of the earliest, which will just go to say 2014 or something and see as well. To see if there is any others. I'm assuming this is the latest 125, I'm pretty sure. Yep. It pretty much just seems to add the Philosopher's Stone and Minim Stone. I think they do have recipes, but I'm being creative and I don't have single player commands currently. But for the most part, obviously you can use these for recipes or converting stuff in the world, typically. At least the Minim Stone you can. The Philosopher's Stone I haven't gotten. There's no using V to charge it up or anything. So, at least that's what I can tell from this version, which is obviously the ones after, sorry, when Pahimar was transitioning from things in 125 all the way to 1710 compared to the prior versions of E2 you would typically be getting. So obviously this is E starting up in its third iteration. So I may go back to the earliest 1.2 that I know of, and then we'll go through all the others from 1.4 onwards. Okay, in the earliest of 1.2.5s, but counting E2 rather than E3, you've obviously got your typical stuff like these Philosopher's Stone, Deconstruction Catalyst, the bands, the amulets, like so, alchemical fuel, the different armor types, the different dusts, defining rod, the more upgraded armor, the more upgraded rings, the red matter toolset, alchemy bags, and so on. So we'll go to now a 1.4, I'm pretty sure it is, version of E3. In the 1.4.2 version of EE3, you can see obviously you've got the Minim Shard, the Inert Stone, Minim Stone, and Philosopher's Stone, as well as a bunch of the different dusts. You've got Ash and Pure, and then the Minim as your Amaranthine and Iridescent. If we actually try, obviously, can still convert things, can still craft with them as well. Press C, you can still craft with them. And so on. Try pressing V or otherwise, there's nothing that comes up. I think there's controls. Okay, so C and V definitely are there for some reason. It's not wanting to with me for some reason. Unless I'm missing something. Not too sure what I'm missing there. Either way, probably does work, I just can't get it working currently right now. On to, I think, the 1.5 version. 1.45, sorry, version. In the 1.4.4 version, we have pretty much just red water. It's either still or flowing, and the calcinator being introduced. doesn't have too much of a use yet, but either way, yeah, and I don't think it has a recipe, even though I don't have a 1.4.4 version of NEI or recipe book or anything like that to demonstrate. Now on to the 1.4.5 version. In 1.4.5 it seems to be pretty much the same, maybe just a bunch of fixes, maybe just porting, but for the most part seems to be the same as the 1.4.4 version. In 1.4.6 you've got the alchemical bags, along with the other stuff from prior versions, and they don't have any actual function yet. So, yeah, still a work in progress at this point. On to 1.4.7. In the 1.4.7 version, it's pretty much the same in terms of the alchemical bags being there, and obviously not having a recipe, not being able to open them and such, but assuming the 1.4.6 version might have been able to do this, or maybe even prior. Obviously now I have worked out that I can charge it, and that's how wide it goes, and obviously if I sneak to reduce it, it'll get all 1 by 1, compared to just pressing V to charge it to, I think it's 7 by 7 or so area that I can cover things in. The same thing, not the same thing, I'm still anyway. Now for the 1.5.1 version. In the earliest of 1.5.1 versions, you have the alchemical chest, the aludel, and the calcinator, getting a more finalized design, and there is obviously the interfaces. And obviously don't have a recipe mod installed, so I can't show you that. Now for a later 1.5.1 version, which probably might be the same, but we'll see. It seems to be the same, except for the fact that there is the alchemical bag now, which does have a function and an animation as well. Possibly a recipe, who knows, but I can't show. Now for 1.5.2. In 1.5.2 it seems to be pretty much the same as the 1.5.1 versions, except for probably that there is the glass bell now, and the aludel obviously requires you to place it on top rather than it being what it was prior. Obviously these should have recipes, the alchemical bag doesn't, but the aludel and glass bell do. The philosopher's stone does not, the minim stone does, and a few of the dusts obviously exist, but you can't do much with them just yet. Otherwise though, we move on to a later 1.5.2, and in the latest version doesn't seem to be any changes, probably just bug fixes and this, that, and the other thing for the most part. Now on to 1.6.4. In the earliest 1.6.4 version, we have the alchemical chalk, the rendering tank, and the alchemy table. So a fair amount of stuff being ready for definitely later 1.6.4 or early 1.7.10. Now we'll go to the latest 1.6.4 version. In the latest 1.6.4 version, we have the alchemical coal, as well as the blocks, Mobius fuel, Altener's fuel, chalk blocks, infused cloth, infused wood, the divining rod, other tiers of alchemical bags, and then the upgrades for the alchemical chests. Which you'll see the inside of these if they actually work. Divining rod doesn't yet. So large, medium, small, and the bag sizes, as you can see there. Don't have a recipe mod in this instance, but either way. On to 1.7.10, but maybe in the next video, and then I'll also cover ProjectE from its sort of continuation all the way to 1.12, maybe 1.14. Otherwise though, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.